Hey readers, welcome back to the Book Nook, the bookish podcast brought to you by the Fable app. Today we're starting our very first segment called the Book Nook Report. On the first of every month, Cameron and I are going to gather a list of upcoming releases. This could be books, TV shows, music albums, movies, and so much more, and give you all of the deets so that you can have them on your radar when their releases are going to happen in the upcoming month.
Yes, and for our first episode on the Book Nook Report, we're chatting about all the hottest releases coming out in April. Desiree, anything that you're particularly excited about before we get into our list?
You know me in translated lit, so obviously there's a Japanese literature title in here. The book The Cat Who Saved the Library by Sosuke Natsukawa is releasing in April, and I am so excited because I've heard so many good things about the previous book. So very excited about that one, and we're gonna dive a little bit deeper later, but what about you?
So for me, it's gotta be Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. It's easily my most anticipated April release, and not just because I have a cowboy obsession ever since I was an impressionable, probably too young girl watching Friday Night Lights, and suddenly Tim Riggins was there with his long hair and his muscle tees and his sweaty skin. He was blessing my screen. And this book, although not based off Tim Riggins, but it's about a runaway groom, a single mom, and forced proximity with a broody rancher ex-boyfriend next door. I mean, this book is basically my Roman Empire. I don't know if people still say that, but because I'm still getting TikToks about Paul Mescal as the gladiator, I'm gonna say it.
I
So
don't
yeah,
blame
if
you.
there's a man in a cowboy hat emotionally spiraling while fixing a fence, I will be seated. Cam and Dusty, yeah, also
How's your name?
has my name, so I will be YNing myself into the plot. Second Chance Slow Burn is already wrangling my heart, and we haven't even hit chapter one. So all I have to say is a yeehaw.
Yeehaw, indeed. I love a second chance. I feel like, especially when they're well done, they just they hit the spot. So, we're gonna get into our new releases report, starting off with books, of course. That's where we've got to start. So, April is gonna be such a good month for readers because we have so many highly anticipated releases. So, Cameron, do you want to start us off?
Of course. First up, we've got The Library of Lost Dollhouses, a beautiful title by Elise Hooper, releasing April 1st. This follows Tildy Barrows. Although she loves her job as a curator at an archival library in San Francisco, the organization is on the verge of bankruptcy when she discovers two historical dollhouses in the collection that contain hidden clues. She uncovers secrets and finds a new future for herself.
Sounds so
And
good.
I mean, that sounds incredible. Um, just side tangent. First of all, anything with like mystery and these creepy dollhouses, love. There's
Mhm.
actually another book that I believe is called The Dollhouse that takes place in Amsterdam, and there's also a show. And one of the best historical fiction mysteries I've ever read. So the minute I see archival library and historical dollhouses, I'm in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm adding both of those to my TBR.
Yeah, and on the same day, we've got Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I know Fable users have been looking forward to this one because if you like a small town romance and men who look like Greek gods, we're pretty sure this book is right up your alley. And the title? Am I the only one that thinks that it's a nod to the one and only T Swizzle? Because I sure hope so.
I do believe so. I'm kind of hoping that we get a playlist with this one. I can't remember. I think that Abby does usually, at least sometimes, include a playlist at the beginning of her books. I know that for I can't remember the title, but it follows a musician. I think there was a playlist in that one, so I'm hopeful that with this one we'll get
I
a
love
good
books with
playlist.
playlists.
They're
Yeah.
so fun.
Hmm.
And so a week later is going to be the release of Happy Land by Dolan Perkins Valdez, releasing on April 8th. This novel is about a woman who discovers her family's legacy as part of the Kingdom of the Happy Land, a self sustaining community of formerly enslaved men and women who were ruled by a king and queen high in the mountains of the Carolinas before vanishing. And then on the same day, we're also going to have the release of Fearless by Lauren Roberts, which is the highly anticipated final book in her trilogy, as well as Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, which is another highly anticipated release following Phantasma. I'm personally especially excited about Enchantra. I don't know if you read Phantasma, Cameron, but that was
I
so.
have not. Should I?
Yes, you should. It's kind of like the Hunger Games, but make it more gory and hella more spicy.
Oh, well, that's a bit of me, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Because I'm back on my romantasy train. And because now I'm currently reading, oh my God, Glow of the Everflame.
Mhm.
And now I'm already like mourning it, even though I have one more book left in the series. So I think my next series that I'm gonna start is Powerless by Lauren Roberts because
Mhm.
I've just heard too many like amazing things about it, and I've seen so many out of context quotes. So
Yeah.
this is perfect that Fearless is coming out now, so that way I'll have a complete series to be able to binge.
And then you can read the duology, Phantasma and Enchantra. It's just like it's right up your alley. You would love it so much. It was so entertaining while also being like so intense because it
Mhm.
gets really gory. It was just I loved it.
Oh, I love a mixture. I love, yeah, like that's what I forgot about Romantasy is you get that like adrenaline
Mhm.
pumping, action-packed plot that I'm missing from romance books, and I
Yeah,
forgot how fun it is together. So I will be adding both of those to my list, 100%.
100%.
And looking at the literary fiction list, it looks like we have some translated titles, Desiree.
My absolute favorites. So we have a few coming out in April. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got The Cat Who Saved the Library by Sosuke Natsukawa, which is coming out on April 8th. And this is the same author who wrote The Cat Who Saved Books. So one thing about me, if there's a cat on the cover and it's translated lit, I'm gonna own it. I have like this entire shelf is dedicated to translated literature. So I am so excited for it. It sounds like it's going to be so cozy. And then we have a Sayaka Murata upcoming release coming on April 15th entitled Vanishing World. And in true Murata fashion, this is going to be another Wheeled Girl lit title. I just know it from the synopsis. This is set in a world where children are conceived via artificial insemination, and a normal marriage is considered to be like entirely clean. Nothing happens. And so our protagonist doesn't fit in because her parents broke all the rules when they actually fell in love and procreated. And so I know that we've both read Convenience Store Woman, so I think that we can agree that this screams like Sayaka's classic vibes.
Yeah, I have never read a book like Convenience Store Woman, and I think that was like my first true weird girl lit book, and it has opened up a whole new genre for me and a whole new narration style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for this like dystopian-esque book. It sounds incredible, and I will be buying it.
100%.
Yeah. And to wrap up our book section, we've got Emily Henry's newest book. I think we all know what it's called, A Great Big Beautiful Life, which releases April 22nd. I've heard that this book is unlike anything she's ever released before, and I'm ready to have my heart broken in the most delicious way possible.
There's just something about an Emily Henry book, especially like I started off with Beach Read. I actually have yet to read People We Met on Vacation. Um, People We Meet on Vacation? I can't remember if it's meet or met.
Yeah, it's meat,
Meet.
and I know
Okay.
that because I always want to say met.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
People We Meet on Vacation. I haven't read that one yet. I'm planning to this summer. But she's just grown so much while still keeping like that unique Emily Henry feel. I'm so excited for it. I am kind of sad that I'm going to have to wait another year for the paperbacks, but I've just accepted that now I need to buy hardcover.
Yeah, and I also keep like refreshing my what's it called? My what's Instagram's Twitter called? Threads
Mhm.
because I saw like there was a few photos released of the People We Meet on Vacation movie, and
Mhm.
it was just the exact vibe that I had
Oh,
imagined while reading it, and I'm dying to know more about it. I'm so excited. I think
I'm so happy they casted Tom Blythe. I haven't even
mean
read the book, but
and thank God they cast it. I don't remember the actress's name, but she's from
Mhm.
My Lady Jane, and she was
Yeah,
incredible in that.
oh,
So
she's so great.
I think it was really, really perfect casting.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I think they've also mentioned they were going to be doing what's the other book? The blue cover.
It's
The
April
literary agent, the bookstore owner.
Book Lovers.
Book lovers. How did I forget that? Yeah, are they making that into a movie too? I think there's another one.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Or maybe I am confused. I know they're doing Beach Read, right? Are they?
I've only heard about People We Meet on Vacation,
I feel like I saw news for like
but
another
you're probably
adaptation.
right. Oh, Anna Huang's books, right? They're also being adapted.
Yep, that's another. There's just so many books being adapted. Actually, this is like a complete tangent, but I'm currently reading Deep Cuts, which is so good. But it released just like a few weeks ago, and like a few days after it released, they announced that they're adapting it into a movie with Austin Butler,
Oh,
and of course, I am not sure if I'm gonna butcher her name, but Saoirse Ronan
oh
from Little
yeah.
Women. That's gonna be so interesting. The book,
Is
you
that
would love it.
I
You
was
would
gonna
love
say,
it.
is that a romance? What is that?
It's
Why have I never heard of
okay.
that?
It's giving normal people, and it's not an April release, so please accept like the tangent we're going on here.
Hmm.
If anyone has not read this book yet, you need to. Basically follows the FMC who's like she loves music so much, but it just doesn't come to her naturally to like actually create a full song, but she knows how to critique a song really well to make it into something amazing. She meets this boy at a bar while they're in college. He's a musician. He just like chats with her a little bit and he sees how good she is with critiquing his lyrics and
Hmm.
they start working together. So it's going to span like 5, 6, 7-ish years, almost a decade, where they're gonna work together while also kind of like being in love but not wanting to give
Yeah.
into the push and pull that we see in normal people. And I'm almost done with it. It's so good, and I can't wait to see the adaptation. I hope they make it justice because the book is amazing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a great cast to have that like off the gate. My God.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is great. Okay. And where were we
I
next?
think we're done with books for now, and we're gonna
Hmm.
move on to TV shows because we've got quite a few releasing in April. So why don't you start us off?
Yeah, okay, so that's right. We have a lot of TV shows in April. First of all, The Last of Us season 2, April 13th. Shout out my mom, that's her birthday. And if there's one thing you need to know about me is that being a Pedro Pascal fan is an integral part of my personality. Um, I added this to something, if anyone's interested at the podcast, I would do a whole episode just about Pedro. So you
We
just
could.
let us know. You let us know right now. I just need one person to say it that they wanted this, and then we can do all books either Pedro Pascal themed or that you can insert Pedro Pascal in whatever. I'm getting ahead of myself. Next show is You. Season 5 is coming out April 24th. Dan Humphrey. Dan Humphrey. Why are you still killing people, bro? Get over it. And then finally is The Handmaid's Tale, season 6 is coming out April 8th on Hulu.
I
An
still can't
incredible
believe
show.
I still
Yeah.
can't believe that we're like I'm looking at you and like even The Handmaid's Tale. How
Mhm.
are there so many seasons? Where did the time go? Because I remember watching you when it first came out, and now I feel like I'm super old because how are there 5 seasons?
No, truly. I remember, I think Handmaid's Tale first
Mhm.
season came out like my senior year of high school, and it's so crazy that I'm not a senior in high school anymore. Like it's been 6 years. Like
That's
that's
insane.
jarring. Yeah.
Wow. I'm very excited for both of these though. I need to read the books for you. I have the first one, and
Mm.
I've seen our friend Dylan. I think he read you. I think he's like reading the series. I've seen the updates on his stories, and I'm tempted to get into it. Although that's just like it's such an interesting plot. It's quite
Yeah.
something.
I feel like I'm for this one, I'm okay just watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's more entertaining in TV show form than the book. I'm curious to make like the
Mhm.
comparison.
We'll have to
But
ask Dylan.
yeah, we will.
Mhm.
Definitely gonna ask him. And because I wouldn't be me without squeezing in a K-drama and an anime release, Crushology 101 is also releasing on April 4th. So this K-drama is based on a webtoon, The Love of My Life. It's like the manga graphic novel equivalent of Wattpad.
Mm.
Both are under like the same umbrella company.
Oh.
And it revolves around a young sculpture student named Bunny and her romantic woes. So it sounds like it's going to be a classic K-drama love triangle. And the cast looks really promising too. And as for anime, we're gonna have the release of The Apothecary Season 2 on April 5th, which is a mix of like historical fiction with some like adventure, intense type subplots. And it's based on Imperial China. And then we've also got a new show called The Beginning After the End coming out on April 2nd. Both of these I think are going to be on Crunchyroll, which is a fantasy epic with martial arts, sorcery, and drama. Always drama.
Amazing. And last but not least, the name of the album was too good, really, not to
Mhm.
mention it. We've got Bon Iver, Bon Iver,
I think it's Bon Iver, if I'm not
Bon
mistaken.
Iver's Sable Fable.
That's just so
Guys,
perfect. I like the second I saw the release, I was like, okay, we might need to hit up his DMs.
I did, and nothing yet. So if anyone listening to this pod can now go on Bon Iver's Instagram and tag Fable, so he's forced to work with us, we would be eternally grateful.
Mhm.
And his album releases on April 11th, and I will definitely be writing my new book to this album because, his vibes are always just moody, perfect, and melancholic
Oh, they're
and
excellent.
inspirational. Love
Yeah.
it.
I can't wait to listen to it. I think he released like the first song or something. There's a preview.
Oh,
What's it called? Let me pull it up here. Which ones? Yeah, he released like Things Behind, Things Behind, Things Behind, Space Side, Award Season. There's a couple songs on the album that we can listen to,
mhm,
but I can't wait to just like let it play on a loop for the entire day.
100%.
Awesome. So, those were all of our immediate updates because there are so many books and TV shows and everything releasing in April. We can possibly cover every single one of them. But in terms of books, we are going to make I was going to say a playlist, not quite. We're going to make a list of upcoming releases in April that you'll be able to find on the Fable app. But with that, our first episode of the Book Nook Report concludes.
And you can find a link to the list in our description, or you can also find it under lists on the main Fable profile on the Fable app.
And I will make sure to put that link in the description. That way it's easy to just click and find it immediately. But thank you so very much for joining us today. And please let us know what April releases that you have on your radar in the comments. We definitely want to know if we've missed any books, TV shows, anything like that.
And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on @GetFable on TikTok or @Fable on Instagram for more bookish content.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the Book Nook.
Ciao!